Hello and welcome back to a new IELTS Express lesson on essay analysis. We have reached essay number 4 and today we'll talk about fashion, most precisely about following fashion trends. And today's lesson will deal with an agree or disagree or opinion IELTS task 2 essay. Agree or disagree question types are among the most common on the IELTS writing papers, so you must learn how to write them properly. So in this lesson, we will look at IELTS past paper to help you understand the task. We'll look at the structure, how to write an effective introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and then conclusion. So grab your notepad and let's get started. We're going to start with understanding the task. This is what you should be doing in the first 5 to maximum 6 minutes of those 40 minutes. As you can see, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Now we have the question should, the word should here, which is a recommendation, a suggestion. I strongly recommend you follow this and you spend 40 minutes on this task because of 2 reasons. First of all, you have to write 250 words, which is almost double the amount of words that you have to write for task 1, and then task 2 is double the amount of the marks. So you have to spend double the time, 40 minutes. All right. So the question goes like this. These people these days give too much importance to following fashions, for example, wearing fashionable clothes and having the latest model of phone. This is the topic, and the question goes, to what extent do you agree with this statement? Okay, so first of all, you must say if you agree or disagree with the statement. You can agree totally, you can disagree totally, or you can sit on the fence, which means you can both agree or disagree. Then, what's also very important, you have to give reasons for your answers. And if you have no strong feelings about the topic, remember you don't have to tell the truth. Choose a possible point of view and argue it as well as you can. All right. And you can also invent some examples if you cannot think of your own. Now, these 2 tips, this one and this one, are very important when dealing with agree or disagree or opinion essays. And if you're familiar with Seinfeld, I'm going to give you a Seinfeld reference. If you know George is a friend of Jerry's, and at a certain point he says, Jerry, it's not a lie if you believe it. So again, you can invent some examples if you cannot think of any of your own. And again, if you don't have strong feelings about the topic, remember you don't have to tell the truth. But there's another thing that I want you to take into consideration. Don't invent statistics. This is not a research paper, it's a 250-word essay. You don't have to invent statistics, you don't have to quote statistics, you simply have to think of some examples from your own experience. If you cannot think of any from your own experience, then think of somebody else's experience and make them your own. I don't know, your sisters, your brothers, your mother, so on and so forth. Okay. So we know what you have to do. You have to write at least 250 words, which is also very important. You should stick to the 40-minute time, and you should decide whether you agree or disagree. So we have analyzed the task. Let's get to the structure. I recommend the same 4-paragraph structure: introduction, paragraph 1, 2, or conclusion. Now, there's one more thing. If you have more ideas, you can go with 3 body paragraphs, but make sure you go 1 idea, 1 paragraph. Don't mix them, because this way you're going to get extra points for your coherence and cohesion, and your ideas will flow. All right, so let's have a look at the model answer and start with the introduction. If you have a look at the introduction, we have a 2-sentence introduction. And the main thing here is to paraphrase the topic question, meaning to put the topic in your own words as much as possible. It's extremely important. You're going to get extra points for vocabulary because paraphrasing means using, first of all, different synonyms, also different grammatical structures. So you get both points for grammar and for vocabulary. If you have a look at this introduction, again, keep in mind that this is a band 5, 5.5 sample essay. So it's simple, but it's to the point. So this is the introduction. We're moving on to the first body paragraph. And here the candidate has given the first idea. I believe um, to be this is to be the case because I often see it with my own eyes. And then um, the candidate here expands, and as you can see, he also gives an example. My best friend, for example, so from their own knowledge and experience. And then it continues with my sister hates wearing clothes that were fashionable several years ago. All right, make sure, as I said before, each paragraph deals with a distinct aspect of the topic. So here we're talking about um, gadgets and clothing, keeping up with the latest fashion. Okay, we're moving on to the second body paragraph. The second body paragraph, if you have a look, doesn't deal with people, but it deals with the media. Articles in newspapers, magazines, describing how someone is in serious debt because they bought expensive clothes or gadgets. And then again, the media. So this paragraph focuses on the fact that media encourages people to buy, to keep up with the latest trends or fashions. Okay? It's also very important for you to use linking words. Here, this candidate has used basic linking words because, however, since we're talking about a band 5, that's totally fine. But if you also look at grammar, we have a relative clause. The media criticizes people who. So even though this is a band 5, relative clauses are necessary in this situation because it shows that you can use complex structures. If you only use present simple, past simple, and future with will, you'll be limited to band 5 in grammar. However, if you use other different grammatical structures, if you upgrade the grammar, then you're going to get extra points. This paragraph contains also an idea which is expanded and supported with example. Media criticizes people who get into money problems. Then we also have examples that people get into debt because they buy either new clothes or the latest gadgets, televisions or oven. Yeah, so you don't have to signpost with for example or for instance. And this is why here this paragraph flows. And finally, we have reached the conclusion. You can start with in conclusion or in all. These are very good, useful phrases to introduce your final paragraph. And remember, don't introduce any new ideas in your conclusion, especially ideas which you haven't tackled or discussed in your body paragraphs. What you have to do in the conclusion is to restate, is to briefly summarize what you have mentioned in the body paragraphs, and you have to take a stance. Do you agree with the statement? Do you disagree? Or you're somewhere in between? And as you can see, I think being fashionable has too much importance these days. So you can see that this candidate doesn't agree with the fact that we should follow trends. It would be better to think about relationships with other people. And then the very last sentence, in the end, we get more pleasure from our friends, restating, reinforcing the fact that he thinks following trends and fashions is not a very good thing to do. As I said, you have to explain and support the points you have made in the previous paragraphs. And that would be it. I told you it's not very difficult. All you have to do is to spend 5 minutes out of those 40 minutes at the beginning of the essay to understand the task, to write down some ideas, to circle the keywords that will help you develop and write the essay. So you have managed to analyze a task to agree or disagree essay in less than 10 minutes. That would be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. please let me know what you think about it, and I'll keep you posted. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting new lessons and tutorials on all types of task 1 and task 2 questions in academic writing IELTS. Until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to practice on your English. Bye bye.